All right, what is up, everybody? It's Edwin back again for Strictly Comics, and we are here for a completely 100% CGC haul video. All right, what I'm about to show you guys are my last two CGC submissions. I mixed them together. It's gonna be one submission. My first submission I got about a month ago was just newsstand copied comics. All right. My second submission was pre-1975 submission that I got back, I think, about a week or so ago. So I just kind of mixed them in together to show you guys this massive CGC haul video. So let's get right into it. This book right here is a book that I got for free for doing some pressing for my LCS. It's probably the nicest conditioned book that I have of this character. It's the first appearance of Tiger Shark, Submariner number 5, 1968. A lot of people have been buying this book up lately since there has been talks of a Submariner. I don't know if it's a new movie or TV series, and there's a lot of speculation that Marvel's going to wait and see how the Aquaman movie does before they start going full swing with the Submariner, Prince Namor movie. So there's just speculation of this and Stingray. People are buying up those two villains first appearances, and so yeah. I submitted it, and I was hoping for about honestly I was thinking about an 8.0. I wanted an 8.5, but I was being more realistic, thinking that this was going to be about an 8.0 copy. Came back from CGC and came back as a 7.0. So this was a disappointment, to say the least. There's not really much value here. This is probably a $100 to $150 book, but I didn't have much into it other than the work that I put in. But you know, it is what it is, and they all can't be winners, can they? So there's that. This was a book that I've always wanted as a slab, at least for myself. First appearance of Doomsday. This is the newsstand variant. I've come to realize that this doesn't really go for much more than the direct edition, but I'm still glad it's a newsstand because it's a little bit more rare in my opinion. So when I was submitting it, I was hoping for a 9.8, and came back as a 9.8 white pages, so I'm really happy about that. Up next is this right here. Now, if you collect comic books in the 90s, you know what this book is. This is the first appearance of the Spider-Man clone, Origin and Death of the Jackal. Spider-Man clone, aka Ben Reilly, if I'm not mistaken, who later becomes Scarlet Spider. This book was hot in the 90s. I mean, raw copies were easily $100 $150 for this book. Now, of course, it's really leveled out since then. I got this book in a collection, paid a little bit more than I wanted to, but it's a very high-grade book. I've got like 3 of them. This is my 3rd one. This is the only one I got slabbed. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about the grade. Let me go ahead and show you guys what the grade is first. I was thinking that this was going to be anywhere from an 8.0 to a 9.0, and I'll tell you why here in just a minute. But it came back as a 9.4, so this was a very big surprise. Now, you might be asking, Edwin, why did you think it was going to come back between an 8.0 and a 9.0? Well, I did press it out, and also keep in mind, every single book that you are about to see in these slabs, I cleaned and pressed myself. This is the issue that I thought it was going to come back as an 8.0 to a 9.0. I don't know if you guys can see, but all these, there were other Amazing Spider-Man books up against this in a box. These were not bagged and boarded. So over time, the Amazing Spider-Man comic book name outlined itself on the back of the cover, and you know, I just could not get it off. So I don't know if CGC just kind of didn't take that into serious consideration, or if they just consider that like just as a part of that error. in the mid 70s. So, but they gave it a 9.4. Also, one of the problems that I had with CGC is right here. There's this corner. It looks like the corner is missing, but it's actually not. It was folded over. So whenever they put it in the Mylar, it somehow folded over. I don't know if it's a color breaking crease or not, but it's not a removed chip or anything. It's just folded over. So that was not like that when I submitted it. So again, that's on CGC's fault. But they gave it a 9.4. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm not going to take it out. I'm not going to try to repress it or anything. It's going to stay in this encapsulation until I sell it or just continue keeping it. So it is what it is. It's just something I'm going to have to live with. But if you collected comic books in the 90s, you know exactly what this book is. Paid $50 for this, and GPA on this now is like 240 to 260, somewhere around that. And I apologize, guys. This I think I got for like $1, and I think GPA on this is about $80 to $100. So, hey everyone, be sure to join us Saturday and Sunday, December the 15th and 16th on YouTube over at the Great Legends Show for our first 2018 charity auction. Every auction will be starting out at 99 cents, and 100% of the proceeds will be donated to the Hero Initiative. We'll be auctioning off CGC and CBCS graded comics, pops, original art, raw and signed comic books that have been donated from people all around the community. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this. This right here is another newsstand book that I got from a collection from some guys who just come across this massive newsstand collection. First appearance of Darkhawk, and I paid like 20 cents for this, 26 cents, something like that. Went ahead and sent it in. I was thinking this was going to be like a 9.4, 9.6. If it came back as a 9.6, I'd be really happy. But it's got some spine ticks, and because most of this book is black, almost any spine stresses or color breaking marks are going to show up. So, and it came back as CGC 9.6. So with a newsstand right now, this book is probably, I don't know, in the $100 to $120 value range. This is just one of those books I'm going to sit on for a while because Darkhawk is not really in high demand. I know that he's kind of been revived a little bit in comic books, but I don't have much into this. There's not really any pressure or sense of urgency to sell anytime soon. So I'm probably going to just sit on this for a little while and hope that maybe Darkhawk pops up in a movie or something, and then I'll list it for sale. All right, here's another pre-1975 submission. I literally didn't pay anything for this, maybe pennies for this, and here's why. This book was a part of a collection, a long box that I purchased from somebody, and I got the entire long box for $60. Why do you ask? Because the entire box was water damaged. Now some of y'all are looking at that and you're just like, dang. And I think my thoughts are right there with you. But you know, again, I don't have anything into this. Also, the cover is detached, but I sent it into CGC anyways because it was actually worth more graded than it was raw. So I said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to send it in. I pressed it, cleaned it as best as possible, and it came back as a 1.8. Now, some of you are like, dude, a 1.8, that's nothing. That's not even worth my time. Well, a 1.8 right now is about $180 to a $200 book. And when you don't have anything into it, that's significant. You know, your profit margins are pretty large. So I was happy to get it back. I figured it was going to be about I didn't know what it was going to be. I was thinking like anywhere between a 1.5 and a 2.0. And of course, I was right in the middle pretty much. But hey, it's the first appearance of Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, and Roxanne Simpson. So yeah, there's that. And also, guys, keep in mind, all of these books are already on Instagram for sale. I am a little bit negotiable, but not much, because my prices are at GPA or a little bit below. But, you know, they'll just sit there until they sell or I raffle them off. But if anybody's interested, hit me up on Instagram and we can work something out. This book, again, newsstand copy. It's not the first appearance of Violator, but for whatever reason, when Spawn first came out, this book was like the hottest book. It was more expensive than the #1. And I think because it had a coupon, an Image Zero coupon, I think that the direct editions had it. But from what I can tell, they all had it. And so I sent this in hoping for a 9.8. And it came back as a 9.8. And actually, I have 2 of them. So I have these. Now, the thing is these are for sale right now on eBay, and I don't expect a lot of people to have much interest in this right now, because you know how people are. They're not going to have any interest in anything until it's announced in a movie or TV show, and then everybody wants to go running to get it. Keep in mind, if there is an announcement of Violator in the upcoming Spawn movie, this book will go up. And I'm not going to budge whatsoever, because it's a newsstand copy. I think there's 1 newsstand copy to every 9 or 10 direct edition copies. And if Violator is ever in an upcoming Spawn movie or part 2 or whatever, this book is going to go crazy, because it's the first cover appearance of the Violators. So there's that. And these, I think I got like 26 cents a piece for them. The direct editions sell for like 80 to 100. These right now are listed on eBay for about 200. So I get people watching it, but nobody wants to pull the trigger. But that's okay, because I don't have nothing into it. I'm not anxious to sell. All right, here's another pre-1975 comic book. This right here is Batman 121. It is the very first appearance of Mr. Freeze, but he was called Mr. Zero when they created him in 1959. So, story about this book is I bought this book from a local shop that I had just discovered not too long ago. It's a shop that deals mostly with like sports cards and stuff. Not so much comic books, but I got to know the owner pretty well, and I think he knew what he had, but he didn't know what he had, because he had this just kind of sitting on the top of his counter. I asked him what he wanted for it. He wasn't really sure. I told him off the bat, I was like, I'll give you $200 for this book. And he didn't really answer me. So I didn't really, you know, I just stood there talking to him a little bit, and just didn't really want to press the issue, wanted to really just give him time to kind of think about it. So I left. I came back a week later, and that same stack of books with this on top was still in the same place. So I kind of asked him about it again, and he said, you give me $200 for it, right? I was like, yeah, I'll give you $200 for it. And so we worked out the deal. Now, keep in mind, look at this. This thing is actually, let me go ahead and show you the grade. I cleaned it up and pressed it as best I could. You know, before I got it, I knew it was about a 2.0. I obviously did my research through GPA analysis, and that's why I offered him $200 for it. Raw, this book is probably about a $400 book. I cleaned it, submitted it. Cover is detached, but it came back as a 1.8. So not bad. Some people might look at this book and think like, dude, it's a 1.8. Like, who would offer that much for this book? It's pretty much a rag. Well, if anybody knows, this book is in high demand, but the availability is low. There's not a lot of them out there, and the ones that are out there, people want what this book is worth. Very few people are willing to negotiate or go much less than what this book is worth, because it's nearly golden age book. But it's the first appearance of Mr. Freeze, major villain in the Batman universe. I would love to have a higher grade copy, but I've never had this book. I thank God that I was able to come across a copy. And the story behind this is that actually that the owner that sold me this book, he actually passed away less than a year later. And so there's a little bit of sentimental value to this book, because I still actually went in and talked to him periodically, and he ended up having a heart attack, I believe, and he's no longer with us. So, you know, there's a little bit of a story behind this book, but I'm glad to have it. I will probably still sell it just because I would like to get a higher grade copy. But I'm not 100% sure yet. In the meantime, it is on Instagram. But yeah, so that's pretty much it with this book right here. First appearance of Mr. Freeze. This right here is what was out of that newsstand collection. Nothing major, but when Azrael first hit the scene back in 92, 93, he was hot. This type of book, I think this was like his, this is pre-Nightfall. This type of book is probably like a maybe a, you know, $15, $20 book raw. Of course, it's not that much anymore. But this book in the newsstand edition, not newsstand edition, direct edition, in this grade is probably about a $100 book. Let me go ahead and show you what it was. I was hoping it was going to come back as a 9.8. And it did. Came back as a 9.8 newsstand. Nothing really, you know, crazy. But still easily, I think, $100, $120 book in this condition, being a newsstand copy. This book right here, again, another newsstand. I don't know why I have more people watching this on eBay than my other ones. Again, I was hoping it was going to come back as a 9.8. And it did. It came back as a 9.8. Just one of those early Spawn books that people, I guess, want in a newsstand edition. So I got that. This book, there's a little bit of a story behind this. I got this again along with a collection. I cleaned and pressed it as best I could. I was actually thinking this was going to be like a 9 to a 9.2. Not so much. Came back as an 8.5. Now that kind of sucks because that doesn't leave really much value here. It's still a desirable book because it's the third appearance of the new team. But, you know, it's whatever. So yeah, there's that book. This one is for sale on IG, as a matter of fact, I think. This right here, I just got this kind of in preparation for what may come soon with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Warlock and the Infinity Watch #1. It is, I believe, a Jim Starlin story, Angel Medina artwork. Again, a newsstand copy. Was hoping for a 9.8. And it came back as a 9.8. So I'm really thankful for that, even though I'm probably just going to end up sitting on this for a while. This book I paid like 26 cents for. This one was like, I think like 30 or 40. No, I think this was like a $50 book if I'm not mistaken. This one was about 26 cents. This one I paid about 26 cents for. So, you know, there's definitely, my profit margins are huge right now, but you still got to be able to move this stuff. And if you can't move it, it ain't nothing. It's just a paperweight. Now, last but not least was kind of a huge find. Huge find. And guys, sorry about the lighting. It's actually getting a little bit later. I had to shut it down because maintenance for my apartment complex came in and had to do some things. Story behind this, I was at a small comic book show, one of those shows that cost like $5 to get in. I was actually kind of on my way out, and I decided to look through a couple of other dealers that were there trying to sell stuff. I found this. They had this in there for $25. Normally, I don't really care about Fantastic Four. These type of books is borderline Silver Age, but when I looked at it, I could not believe how clean this book was. This book is from 1971. This book is gorgeous, and the black is just super black. I cleaned it. I pressed it. I was hoping, for me, to make it worth everything, if it came back as a 9.0, you're only looking at like $200 or $300 in value. GPA 9.2, 9.4 is about $700 or $800. I said if this book could come back as a minimum a 9.2, I would be thrilled. I didn't think it was going to come back as a 9.4, and I wasn't even sure about the 9.2. But I said if it come back as a 9.2, I would be ecstatic. Sent it in and got it back. Came back as a 9.2. Boom, baby. So this right here is about a minimum $700 book. Of course, people want to try to get stuff for as cheap as possible. There's actually one in auction right now. It'll probably end by like Saturday or Sunday, I think. I can't remember. But anyways, got this for $25, and it's easily a $700 book. Classic Hulk versus Thing. This may be something I might sit on for a while. I'll throw it on eBay for a buy it now only. And I'll just leave it up there because if Phase 4 of the cinematic universe has Thing and Hulk, and they might go at it eventually down the road, this book will go through the freaking roof. Very glad to have this. This is kind of the killer find, the killer deal of this entire collection. So super stoked. But that's it, you guys. I don't want to ramble on. Please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Please check out my Instagram. And make sure you keep God first in your life. But enjoy your comic books. And God bless you guys. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out.